God's given me a spirit of power, love, and sound mind. But it's like, you know, it's different, you know, and that's why I left.
I personally, bro, I've known you for like 19 years. I know you've got it in you to do a job and do what you're commanded to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would be able to stand taking a life.
Nah.
Another reason, like any job like that in the army is worse than working on the doors. But for instance, I could be on the doors, I could hit someone the wrong way and I can kill them. Another reason I come off the doors.
Yeah.
You've done door work yourself.
You
know how chaotic
it's rough, mate.
So any job like that with the responsibility of taking care of the public, it's risky. You get what I mean? Me and you are not massive guys, but we were just built different.
Exactly.
In a way, cut from the same cloth, me and you, because we have good hearts, but we were more in that job to protect people rather than think, oh, I'm a bully, I'm a big person.
Yeah.
Because most bouncers do.
Yeah, they do. And I think, that's the problem. Like, I've spoke to bouncers where they know there are people that are quite ruthless on the doors. They have that ego, because one thing is they like showing off in front of all the women that are like, you know, half naked, dressed, you know. But another thing is like they are looking for a fight. And it's because it's like they've not got that ego under control. They don't know how to humble themselves. They're chasing that high of wanting to be the bigger man. And the thing is, it's like, you don't need to do that when you got Christ. He's the biggest man of all.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. There was one time as well when, I'm going to explain this. So the difference between ego and actually going out to do a job to protect. I'll give you an example of something I did. So I was working on a hotel. I'm not going to give names, locations and stuff like that because it's confidential. But a woman, she had her top ripped open, her breasts were showing and everything like that. I've gone round the back. Yes, I had a jacket on and all I had underneath was a shirt.
Yeah.
I took my jacket off and I wrapped it around her and took her inside the hotel and rang her boyfriend to come pick her up. That is the difference between going in there with an ego, trying to be the big man chasing that high, and the difference between actually wanting to do your job sustainably and actually protect people. That's the difference. Yeah. So those people that go in that job just to fight, it makes no sense to me. This is going to be that one person that will
just humble you.
Will humble you. I mean, I was on the door once as well and somebody had a knife in the waist and a balaclava on the mouth, and I said to him, I said, mate, you're not coming in. But whilst I was doing this, I kept 1 meter like that. Yeah. And I'm stood there ready and I said, mate, you're not coming in. So he understood what I said. He backed off, went out the front, tried to come in the back. My colleague I was working with has picked him up and launched him out the back door. And that was the difference. I only had to tell him. Yeah. He had to pick him up and throw him out the back door. What's the point in that? No, mate, you're not coming in. You should have just said what I did.
And then that's the thing, it's like...
You didn't need to lead to that.
He had a spirit of murder in him. Because for him to bring a knife out and to want to harm somebody and to be told by security that you're not coming in, he was like driven with intent. He was like, in his head, he was thinking, one way or another, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to knife that person that I'm after. Do you know what I mean? And that's
it's
crazy.
Experience, isn't it? Like, my colleague who was on the door with me, he could have got hurt. Me, I was wary of it. That's why I kept a meter back from him. I was preparing for anything.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, my colleague has just gone blatant right up in his face, picked him up and launched him out the back door. All he had to do was get back up and come back at him with it.
That's all it takes is one move as well.
One wrong move.
And I think like that's the problem. Like you said, you working on the doors, it's taught you a lesson on just how dangerous this world is. Yeah. You know, and I feel like the army the army environment is like, obviously I didn't go to war or anything. You know, I haven't been to war. I've not like seen any. I've been to conflicted countries like Iraq, but I've not actually seen any war. But like, so when you're a soldier, you all you're doing is you're just constantly training. You're constantly doing what you're doing, right? But like, say like if you are a time of war, you are going to see a lot of horror. You're going to see a lot of evil. and you are gonna have some really dark moments.
But even the training that you're doing, and all of that live stuff with live ammunition and things and blanks and stuff like that, you're still gonna fill your body the message of adrenaline, like this is what's gonna happen. So as much as people sit there and say, oh, it's only people that have been at war that get affected, no, you can be affected by anything, like PTSD or violence and stuff like that. You can be affected just by hearing live gun rounds and things like that. It's not a nice thing to hear, but you still hear it, whether you're training or actually got to war. So with all due respect, bro, I respect you for what you did and the person you are, and I'll thank you because you were prepared to fight for this country. Yeah,
man. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
I think everyone needs to understand that.
Yeah, man. No,
you still went in with that heart.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, I still went in. And I think, it's crazy. Like, as we're talking on the topic of violence, like I said, this is like where you was on your journey to knowing Christ when you was walking on the doors. And then I didn't know God before I went in the army. And obviously, I'm not going to go too deep, but I was hurt by a certain situation. And I've always had it in my heart when I was a kid to join the army. Don't know why, I just wanted to. I just thought that life is awesome. Do you know what I mean? The traveling, the combat, just being a soldier, having that respect, being surrounded around good friends and stuff, and just learning. I thought I've always wanted to chase that. And obviously, I was hurt. And then it made me angry. And that anger drove me to join the army, And like I said, when I joined the army, I wasn't necessarily in the best shape, but I still went in with that mentality, and I went in with the heart posture.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it, and I pushed myself. Do you know what I mean? And there were times where I thought, oh, I'm not going to pass, I'm not going to make it, but I still made it. And I feel like that's what it's like with God. Sometimes you're like, I'm not going to make it. This is hard. I don't know how I'm going to get through it, but you do. You end up getting through to the end. Do you know what I mean?
God may have bigger plans for you than you think.
Exactly.
Because the fact is you get all these egotistical people that fight in school and think they're all tough and hard. And then you're the person that gets bullied. Because I was bullied. Yeah. You was bullied. But look at the difference. Like, when we became men, we actually fought for something that stood for something. Not so much me, you did mainly, but even working the doors, like standing for what I did, doing the right thing. Still, my intentions were always to protect people. Yeah, if somebody that bullied me had gotten the door, they would go with the intention of being a bully. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So God had bigger plans for you. It's like God had bigger plans for me. He made me work on the doors for a whole year straight to see what the world was actually like.
Yeah. I think the crazy thing is like, when I was in school, I used to have oh, my bad. I used to have a bit of an ego. So when I was in school, I got bullied, and somebody said to me, oh, he says, like, what do you want to do when you leave the school? And I said to them, I want to join the army. And obviously this was a person who bullied me. And they said to me, you'll never make it in the army. Like, proper laughed at me. And then it was like, obviously 8 years ago, a few more, say, 9.5 years ago, I actually went for the army. I passed training, and I made it. And I used to like have this ego, and I used to say to myself, like, I remember when he said that to me. I remember when he said that to me, and look where I'm at now. I've actually made it. And I feel like, when you're in school, people make out like, joining the army is like one of the hardest things. I think it just looks so hard. But when you actually do it, when you actually do it yourself, it is hard and it is very intense. But like I was saying, you can do it. You just have to push yourself. You know what I mean?
That's not the hardest thing, bro.
No. But when you're in school, though, when you're a child, it looks like the hardest thing.
It looks like the hardest thing, but the hardest thing in natural fact is walking with Christ.
Oh yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. I say 10%.
Say that now.
Yeah.
Like, we go through these stages in life, these stages of violence, these stages of PTSD, these stages of depression, these stages of anxiety, these stages of all these strongholds and all these demons to become that person that
literally
walk with Christ. Because when that stuff hits you tenfold, before you take this walk with Christ, you are prepared to be strong and naturally have the heart and courage to go through it.
It's true. I'm gonna just pull up a verse, man. And you know,
that was me talking in spirit, bro. That just literally come from the spirit and the heart when I say that.
It's crazy, man, because like people, we need to know this. And the thing is, you know what, as we're talking about violence, you've opened up quite a bit about violence, and we can definitely talk about violence when it comes to the spiritual things. We're not fighting against people, but we're fighting against demonic forces. Look at this, Ephesians chapter 6 here. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armour of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And there it is. We're not fighting against people. We're fighting against the spiritual forces behind it. Woo. You know what I mean? It's deep though.
Yeah, he's like, I'm cooking.
Oh, it is, man.
So, dreams. I don't know if anyone else has dreams, but that's the way that God spoke to me for a bit. So the bottom line is, I went to a church where I was continuously condemned. I think I mentioned it a couple of times. And basically, I was told that if I didn't read the Bible all day, every day, I would go to hell. And something didn't sit right with me. I ran away from Christ for like quite a few years. I'm not going to lie. This guy right here is the guy that brought me back in.
Yeah. Christ pulled you right back in.
But recently, I've been having some dreams and I've been struggling to sleep. I've been woken up by these dreams. So the first dream was I was injured in warfare, and we went through the dream book, didn't we?
Yeah.
I was injured in warfare against AI robots machines. And basically my leg was injured, and that was a sign of like my, you know, what is it? What was you saying? My spirit was damaged, sort of thing.
So what it was is, so Daniel was saying how he was condemned as a child, and he had a stronghold, right? Where like
that's it.
Like he had a stronghold, and he was battling the stronghold for so many years until like it was like the start of this year when I prayed for you.
Yeah,
we prayed together, and then Daniel overcame it, and then he found out the truth about this church, and then obviously he had a dream just recently where like Daniel was injured in a battlefield fighting against AI robots, and these AI robots.
I was leading, and at the time I was going through it. I had Dave and my wife, Shauna, that were helping me. So these were the only two that I seen on the battlefield with me, along with all these other soldiers, but I never even saw these other soldiers' faces. All I saw was the enemy and Dave and Shauna by my side. So anyway, we win this war. So we battle hard and we win this war. I get injured, I come back fighting. And that was God's message of saying to me when we looked in the dream book, was God saying to me, the battle's over, you don't need to fight anymore. So then I'm still fighting with these strongholds. I'm still thinking I need to fight. I'm still thinking I need to take on these demons, these strongholds. So then a week later, I've had another dream. And it's me leading again with these and all these soldiers with no faces behind us. But the difference here is we're going into battlefield where there's no enemy. The battleground is just completely clear. That's God saying, stop fighting. It's done. Put the sword down. It's over.
And